Are you AI? Is your voice artificial intelligence? What? That's the question this morning. I've got a theory, and I'll share more with you on that in just a moment. How you doing? Bill DeWeese here, professional voiceover talent, voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer, and the author of a couple of voiceover related books. My latest is Get Paid Using Your Voice. Get found, get heard, get hired. You want to know about voiceover? This is a great place to start. The digital download is available below in the description. Check that out. When you do that, you'll be given the option to pick up the audiobook as well. I hope you had a good week. I hope you've all got some good stuff to report. I hope you can pick out at least one or two good things that motivated you and keep you moving forward. You're growing a business. Keep that in mind. So there's always going to be challenges. There will always be difficulties and things you have to navigate. It's part of the growth process. But reflect back on that and frame it as this was you grew this week. Hopefully if we didn't grow this week, we weren't doing anything. So congrats for making it through yet another week. And being Friday, this is traditionally our Q&A day. So if you do have a question, you can put it in the live chat. This morning, I'll get to a handful of those, as many as I can here in just a few moments. But I wanted to share a thought on the topic of, are you artificial intelligence? The reason this came up is because um, Mallory and I have had this conversation lately. Mallory being my daughter, who's highly successful. She's made nearly $500,000 on Fiverr, just Fiverr alone with her voice. She does voiceovers outside of Fiverr, but that's the biggest source of her voiceover income. And sometimes she's asked if her voice is actually artificial intelligence, and it frustrates her. And I got a taste of that myself, and now I understand because I also, for the first time in my career, was asked if my voice was artificial intelligence, and it came from a Fiverr client. So I started thinking about it this morning. I thought, why? Because the first thing is, the first response is you want to be offended by that. Like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. This is not artificial. This is me. This is a trained professional providing this recording to you. Why would you ask such a thing? I've got a philosophy, and hopefully you find this helpful. And that's this, especially on the freelance platforms. Think of it this way. Voiceover technology is evolving and making voiceover more accessible to not only people who want to be voiceover talent, but for people who want to hire voiceover talent. Again, it used to be a relatively small market. There weren't that many players involved, but because of technology, it seems like everybody can get involved, and especially when it comes to the freelance platforms. Now, the freelance platforms, generally speaking, they're evolving too. So by and large, they will not have as many what I'll call savvy voiceover voice seekers as more established platforms or agencies or that kind of thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. So a lot of people are coming into who have never worked with voiceover talent before, or who would have never, used a voiceover before because they couldn't afford it. It's almost like, imagine, did you use Uber or Lyft 10 years ago or 12 years ago? All of a sudden this became rideshare. It became accessible. You may have thought taxi was you don't want to deal with it and it was too expensive. Well, Lyft and Uber came along and it became inexpensive. It became accessible and easy. Of course, put most of the taxi businesses, many of them, out of business. And by the way, there's a correlation between voiceover and that story that I just told you. Maybe we'll explore that in more depth in the future. But there's a lot of people who are newer to this thing and they're not as savvy. Now, what's happening is over time, as platforms like Upwork and Fiverr become more established, the percentage of the group of voice seekers that are savvy are becoming larger, which is awesome. That's very exciting. But you've got people, again, who have never really dealt with this kind of thing before. And when you have good, pristine, clean audio, and you have a strong performance skill set, it can almost sound too good to some people. I mean, think about it. Probably 8 out of 10 people on these platforms don't have the background in terms of getting some training, access to information. They haven't learned and trained and developed to the extent that many of you who are on here have, or the extent that I have, or the extent that Mallory has. So when they get a professionally recorded audio, their first thought, after listening to maybe many other people on the platform, they're thinking, nah, this is not real. It's too good. It's too good to be real. That's my philosophy, and I'm going to stick with that. So if somebody says, hey, is your voice AI? you might want to think, well, maybe that's a compliment in disguise. It's a backhanded compliment. Maybe that's what it is, but it's interesting, and it happens quite frequently to Mallory because she does so much work on the platform, and she's I mean, she has a her audio is awesome, her setup is awesome, her audio is awesome. She's very skilled, she's very successful at what she does, and she gets asked that a lot, and so I've got a strong suspicion that folks on that platform immediately hear a good delivery and good audio and think, somebody's trying to pull the wool over my eyes here. So just something to keep in mind. Well, let's see who we've got on the live stream this morning. But before we do that, let me just mention this, that we are less than a week away. We're days away. This coming Tuesday night will be the live announcer masterclass with none other than Rob Reider. Rob Reider is a coach slash mentor in my voiceover blueprint training program. He's highly successful in the audiobook space. He, over the past 40 years, has been made his full-time living as an air show announcer, traveling the country doing that, and has even outside of that, has extensive live event announcing experience. On Tuesday, he's going to teach you how to go out and find work as a live event announcer and to build another stream of income for your voiceover business. I call these marketing streams, these marketing channels, spokes in a wheel. Because if you think about this metaphor, one spoke in a wheel really is, you can't get very far on that. Two or three, it's going to be wobbly and it's going to be unpredictable. And your ride from day to day, you never know. You're never going to know when your ride's going to break down or whether you can even use it or not. But if you've got a number of spokes, you've got a stable, strong, secure ride that you can count on day after day. Same thing in voiceover. If you want to generate a consistent, sustainable stream of income, you need multiple spokes in your voiceover marketing wheel. And this is a good one. I'm not aware, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not aware of anybody else who teaches this within the field of voiceover as a specific stream of income for your voiceover marketing business. And I think it's high time that we do that. And there's no better person to do that than Rob Reider. It's happening Tuesday, again, this coming Tuesday night, the 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, even if you get to class and you can't be there, of course, all the trainings that I present, they're all recorded. They're available to you. You can watch them indefinitely as many times as you want. And Rob's recording a couple of bonus videos to go with that. He's going to take you behind the scenes. So you can watch him prep for an event as well as see what he does at an event. So I encourage you to get signed up now while seats are available. The link is below in the description. Jim is first on the live stream this morning. Good morning, Jim. How you doing? Mike is checking in from Oak Island, North Carolina. Hey, Emma, how are you doing? My editing time is longer than what ACX estimates. I acknowledge I tend to be a perfectionist. What are your parameters for not overthinking it? Well, Emma, first of all, it takes a while to develop those editing skills. So don't have an expectation that you're going to meet. I don't even know what ACX estimates that it takes to record an audiobook. I know general rule of thumb is 4 hours of work for every 1 hour of audio produced. But when you're first getting, and I've done it so long, recording so long, it takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe closer to an hour and a half to do 1 hour of audio. But I've done this for a long time and my editing skills are sharp and I can do it fast. But if you're just getting started, you're just learning. It may take you 8 hours for every 1 hour of audio. That's the learning curve. So don't beat yourself up. But once you do have the skills, if you're a perfectionist, which you just admittedly said you are, which many of us are, the tendency will be to never be satisfied. And that's going to come through experience and letting go and understanding. Like, for instance, when I do auditions, I realize that after 4 or 5 takes, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. I'm too far into my head at that point. So I limit myself to usually it'll be like the 3rd, 4th, maybe sometimes the 5th take, and I'm done. That's it. And when it comes to editing, you just have to, realize that there is no way you're going to get every little, very slight, nuanced mouth click, and you can get all the big stuff out of there, but it gets to a point where you're the only person who hears what you're hearing, and that takes experience and time to realize. Wait a second, I am hearing things that most people will never even notice. And you can get some feedback, maybe from some friends and colleagues to listen to your work to help you determine what that line is. But don't beat yourself up, especially earlier on. And again, Emma, I don't know how long you've been editing audiobooks, But if you're earlier on, especially give yourself some grace there. Hey, Rob, putting finishing touches on the Tuesday night class. Fantastic. Looking forward to it, guys. Remember, link below in the description if you're not registered for Rob's live announcing class coming up this Tuesday. Ethan in Toronto, how are you doing? Hey, Mike, I've been doing a ton of marketing and it seems like so many more emails have been coming back from spam detection. I guess it's time to switch to my website mail as opposed to Gmail. Yeah, let me just say, don't use Gmail. Don't use like Comcast or Hotmail or something that's available like for free that everybody can do because that's it shows here's what it does. It leaves a question as to how seriously committed you are to the job that you do. So for instance, if I get and I use a Bill DeWeese com email address for my voiceover business. So if I'm a voice seeker and I get a Mike at MikeSpendley.com, or it doesn't have to be exactly that, but Mike, the point being, it's not Gmail. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, he must do this professionally, full time. If you send me a Gmail address, I may be thinking, well, he just decided to throw this together last night. So yeah, it can make, I think, a big difference all the way around. Nephi in Knoxville, good morning. Scotty, hello in Brookings, South Dakota. Alex with a big TGIF from Utah. Aaron in Columbia, Missouri. Marla, Texas. John, what's up in Rhinebeck, New York. Mike in Alabama. David, good morning from Gardner, Kansas. As I watched your videos attached to your email, I drooled over your guitar collection. I realized that was not the purpose of the video, but I am weak. David, thanks. Yeah, hold on. How many? I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 16 guitars. And here's the thing, full transparency, I am not a vintage guitar collector. There are guys and gals who that's their thing. I got these are not like the most, I've got your basic Fender Stratocaster and some cool guitars, but this is not like a collection of $5,000 guitars that I have. These are guitars that serve like a unique or different purpose. And, that I enjoy playing, and a lot of it is just, it helps decorate the space, as well. But thanks. That's what I goof around with when I'm not doing voiceover. Hey, Julie, how are you in Humboldt, Pennsylvania? Alex, no artificial ingredients in this intelligent audience. That's right. Jason in Kearney, Nebraska. The other Jason, how are you doing? From the Boot State. Is that Louisiana? Hey, Jay, how are you doing? Good morning, Tim in Altoona. Gary, happy Friday to you in Nashville. Bruce in Port Richey, Florida. Melissa in San Diego. Theo says happy Friday to all from the kitchen table in lovely Palos Hills, Illinois. The proper response to "Are you AI?" is no. My intelligence is real. Yes, indeed, Theo. John, what's going on? Friday already? Hello from Smoky, Denver. All right. John, thanks for checking in. Joy in Southfield, Michigan. Hey, Megan, good morning from hot Manitoba, Canada. I had this happen to me too. I did 3 takes and they were so sure that it was a computer that they refused to order. It's a thing, and it confounded me. When Mallory first started telling me about this, she was it happened again to her this morning, and she'd get so frustrated, which I understand. And then it happened to me, and when it happened to me, then it got real. But I think there's a lot of truth. Now I can't say with 100% certainty that my theory is exactly the way it is, but I'm willing to bet you dollars to donuts, as they say, that there's a lot of truth, in that they're just not accustomed. And, when they hear something that's truly professional in quality, their first thought is, wait a second, this is too good to be real. Sandra in Worthington, Ohio. I was trying to find the PDF for a book I'm narrating, so I put the title into search, Fit to be Dead. AI answered, sorry to hear that, perhaps you should seek help. Oh, Sandra, that's funny. Hello from James in Queens. Been watching your videos for a long time. Well, thank you, James. I appreciate that. Good to have you here this morning. Scotty says, I think some people maybe have poor hearing. Well, I have no doubt. I'm sure that's true. Patty, happy Friday from Palm Desert, California. Good morning from Joni in San Francisco. What's going on, Joni? Let's see here. Let me back up here. The chat is moving. YouTube is scrolling ahead on me. I was accused, this is Paul speaking, I was accused of being AI by a client. I felt bad about it. Now I feel a little better. Thanks. Well, that's why I'm here, Paul. Hey, Jim, how are you doing? Let's see here. Prekar says, recently I had a guy approach me on voices and ask me to voice in a prompt-like manner. I talked to some guys and they told me not to do it. It was a close one. Oh, yeah, and I think what Prekar's referring to is the fact that, there are people out there trying to get voices, basically steal your voice to use for AI. And that does happen. I don't know if it happens as much now. And the reason is if somebody wants a voice, all they have to do is go on YouTube or some other platform. It is so easy to steal a voice that you don't need to hire somebody to read something. You can go out and just grab it online. It's such an easy thing to do. Daisha, good morning, Captain. Hey, Bill, when you audition in Upwork, they want a cover letter every time. What should a first timer put in there? Well, I'm not working on Upwork right now. Not to say that you shouldn't. I think it's a great platform, and I do plan on setting up a profile. I just got a lot of other plates spinning right now. But anytime that I'm asked to do, like, whether it would be on a Voice123, voices.com platform or a cover letter, the main thing is remember, what must they hear from you? In other words, don't waste their time. What can you say that would be of some help to them? Um, I don't bother talking about all my experience. Really, they want to hear what you sound like. And if I've been invited to an audition, sometimes I'll just say, thanks for your invitation to audition. I appreciate your consideration. Sometimes it's as short as that. If they make reference to anything or seem to be concerned about audio quality I'll say, I deliver high quality audio using, and I'll talk about my studio equipment. If you don't have great studio equipment, don't write it down. But just you might want to talk about the fact that you deliver high quality on time. You're a good communicator and you're easy to work with. Those are the things that clients. Those are really the only things aside from the work itself. Those are the things that clients care about. Hype Man Theo says, "Is this great advice valuable to you? Hit that like button to express your appreciation." Thank you, Hype Man Theo. I appreciate that. Hey, Becky from the Myers in Michigan, shopping and listening in. Hey, Becky, make sure you pick up your Myers Michigan cherry coffee while you're in there. All right. Hey, Jim, good morning. Heather, good morning to you in Tennessee. Jeff in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Oh, man, I bet it's nice there today. Nice and hot, but just the way I like it. I can't wait for August and when we start pegging, 90s, 95 or so. That's what I get excited about. Jason yeah, Louisiana is the boot state. Okay, I was guessing there, but it made sense to me. Theo's encouraging Becky to pick up that Michigan cherry. Cherry coffee all the way. Monica in Poland. Hello there, Monica. Andrew, what's up in Latvia? Wally, thanks for checking in Maryland. And Rudy in Naples, Florida. Hey guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Hey, make sure you get your virtual seat registered for the Tuesday night class with Rob Reider on how to become a live event announcer. Don't think, I mean, your interest may not be becoming a full-time live event announcer, but it might, and maybe it is, but most likely what you're looking for is a way to add additional income to your voiceover business. This is a viable way to do it. And Rob's going to teach you all about that on Tuesday. So we hope you get registered for that. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Monday morning.